Viewtiful Joe.
Hello all, I'm Dren Orter, and this, as you just heard, is Viewtiful Joe. This was a GameCube game released in 2003 and then ported to the PlayStation 2 in 2004, and that's the version we're playing now. It's virtually identical to the original, a few added features and a little bit of lag added for good measure, but nothing game-breaking. As you can see, there are 3 difficulty settings on this version. On the original GameCube version there was only 2, called Child and Adult, so they've added a whole other difficulty setting which I probably should have had in the first place, and that's the one we're going to play as now, Normal. Yeah, there is a storyline to this game. It's not too thick. It's not bad for a platformer. It's there. It's sort of your generic B-movie
Captain Blue fights with every
superhero. It's good. There's a few twists in there that caught me off guard.
Oh, why don't you show me some off-screen action?
Brown chicka wow. Evil Pringles!
You've seen just how flimsy your sense of justice is, Captain.
Flimsy. It's not a word I've used. Flimsy.
Is mine.
It's one of those words, isn't it? It actually sounds like what it is. It sounds flimsy.
and thus
A big floppy flim. And so it begins. Usually you wouldn't be able to turn into Joe's superhero-y form yet. You have to play a little bit and there's a tutorial and you can unlock a couple of powers. I've already played it through once and then started it again because I want to show you some of the stuff he can do, but I didn't want to ruin too much of the game. I didn't want to show you all the later levels because it's worth playing through yourself, and I'll show you why.
Go for it!
Yummy!
The gimmick of this game, as it were, is you can slow down and speed up time, so to space with you, and you, and speed it up and blah, 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 blah. You have to collect these little movie reels. Oh shit. Dealt with. You have to collect these little movie reels, and they add to your points. Also, the more of them you collect, the more of those. You see the little bar at the top, the blue one, and next to it there's a bunch of little the movie reels like I've just been picking up. You fill each one of those up, and that extends the amount of time you can spend in slow-mo or super speed or zoom in, which is a whole other thing I'll get onto in a minute. And they're only per stage, so it's like so many levels. Sorry, per chapter. So by the end of the chapter, it'll make the boss fight a lot easier if you've got all those extra bars of slow-mo or speed up your power, your VH watch, your goodness that you can use. So this sort of it makes them worth collecting. It's not just a points-based thing like a lot of games are. Collect the gems. Why? Because it at least does something, which I think's nice. Damn straight, awesome.
Go for it!
Yeah, that part's supposed to be a little bit more difficult, obviously. Rainbow V, they're the hardest thing to get in the game. They're an absolute bitch. In fact, there's as one of the unlockables goes, if you can get all the Rainbow Vs on every section of every chapter, you unlock unlimited V-Watch mode or something. I've forgotten the name of it exactly, where this will last forever. The bar never runs out. It's in fact the hardest thing to unlock, and I'm not going to do it. This game was made by Clover Studios, or it's Clover Studios' first attempt at making a video game, and they were hired by Capcom to make something different. That's literally what they were told to do, make something a little bit groundbreaking, a little bit strange, a little bit different. That was their job, and this is what they came up with, which I'd say they succeeded in. These things get a little bit annoying after a while. They're a nice gimmick at first, and then it's like, I'm done now. These you have to just stop at the right time. There you go. Coins everywhere. And you get a key. You get this at the end of most stages. You have to defeat a slightly more powerful version of the Joker each time, and then these little one-armed bandits come up, or armless bandit in this case, and then you punch the crap out of it with prizes. Yeah, if you slow-mo and dodge attacks like this, whoop, you can then launch people like that when they get that little pink target around them, And that'll do ridiculous amounts of damage to anything it flies into.
Just go for it!
There you go. So you can send things flying back at people if you slow it down, and then beat the crap out of them when you speed it up. Speeding things up and slowing things down will affect things in different ways as well. Like you can bring things that are flying, you can make heavier. So when you slow things down, it also makes things heavier, and then they fall out of the sky. I said they fall out of the sky. Eventually they fall. Thank you. Cock. Kick it back. Have it. And when you speed things up, you make things fly higher, or make things become lighter. Cab. I like it when it spells words. Yes, this was Clover Studios' first attempt at making a video game for Capcom. I think Capcom put them together, like I said, purely to be original and original. And for the most part, they did. They did exactly what they were supposed to do, and as a result, were sacked for it because they had ideas for games and they stuck to them. They didn't sell out, and as a result, the games didn't always sell very well because people didn't get them, or they weren't easy enough. They made them too difficult. It just didn't work out, so Capcom sacked them. But they didn't give up. They're still doing it now under the name of, you'll probably know, a little company called Platinum. So yeah, as you can see, just there I collected enough of those little canisters for it to go up another bar of slow-mo speed up super awesome time. I've forgotten what it's actually called, but that's the name now. Fuck. Bam. So yeah, between certain stages you can save, power up, and you've got a nice little list of moves and things, unlockables. You can buy new health, bombs and things, usables. New moves, slightly, which I've got most of, I think, some I didn't bother with. Ooh, Gammy, what's that one do? Before you fall, zoom in, blah blah blah. Yeah, you can boost up your super bar, whatever it was called, recharges quicker. You can boost your overall amount of lives, which I've already done all of at the top there. You start with about half that, I think. Take 2, which is handy. You can buy them as one-offs, and they stop you from having to go right back to the start of the stage if you done gone fucked up. Basically, if you run out of lives entirely, it'll start you again with, I think, 4 lives is the base amount at the start of that section, not the start of that entire stage, which is nice because that gets irritating. Old school games. Yeah, they get more expensive each time you buy one. So use them wisely. Yeah. Yeah, so this entire game you're supposed to be saving Sylvia, but he tends to forget and go off on a tangent. Because superhero, and you get distracted easily. You would if you just got turned into a super 2D dude. There is a bit of a oldie-fashioned princess story. Save Sylvia with her suggestively placed buttons. It's a strange game because stylistically it's set out. It looks like a comic book, obviously, but it's all based around the movies. It's all very movie-inspired, movie parody-esque. Case in point is the mandatory Indiana Jones section. Run away. There's the first boss fight.
Captain Dren defeated, and we are victorious.
Shows you what you know, fat brain. In movies,
Yeah, burn.
A plot twist. That means things always go wrong once before you get to the happy ending. Hello? Now come on, let's get this over with.
I think things will go wrong a few times before we get to the happy ending, Joe.
Alright, let's get it on!
Just go for it!
Yeah, this game has got some brilliant boss fights. This game's got a good sense of humour. It's sort of
Sorry to wake you up.
brilliant over-the-topness. You don't see enough of anymore. One of the irritating things I have found with this game is you can't save before a boss fight. That counts as the start of a new level, and it'll let you like upgrade Joe, and you'll never go back further than that. But if you want to stop playing, if you want to turn off your console, for example, or you do whatever, come back and turn it on again, because you're having trouble with one of the bosses, you'd have to go back and do the whole stage before that, at least. I don't know why. I get trying to make it a bit like an old school game, but that's sort of halfway to. I mean, either do it, like make it old school, or don't bother. They sort of half-assed it, and I don't understand why. It makes it very. It made many occasions when I left my PlayStation on for hours on end because I needed to go out or eat. Everything is awesome. Now try and get that song out of your head. Off topic, it's actually a really nice day outside. So in accordance with geek law, I've opened a window. So if you hear any bird noises or old people swearing at dogs, it's probably not in the game. Just a FYI. Never noticed that before. Strip club in the background. I wonder if that was there in the family-friendly Nintendo GameCube version. So if you hold down the slow-mo, you can charge things up like this. Do awesome shit like launch yourself into space. Well, that can't be good. Kicking the crap out of the grunts in this game, like, never gets old. And you're always finding new ways to do stuff because there's so much you can combo together, there's so much you can mix up. There are rudimentary little puzzles in the game that you can do just like this that can break up the flow a little bit, but yeah, they're done competently enough. Yeah, one of the only problems I found with this game was the zoom in function. It's brilliant. It means you can do stuff like this and like that and like this, but it works in conjunction with slow-mo and speed up, and trying to keep track of all of it at once can sometimes get a little bit much, especially at first. It's and you end up not using a lot of it. It's you get used to it later on and you find purposes and uses for bits of it, but I don't know, I feel like it could have been done better. It can get a little bit convoluted, I think, is the only problem with that. But saying that, I've got through the first playthrough now, and I've got fairly used to when to use it and what for. It's just not perfect. Here's a perfectly good example of one of those puzzles I was talking about. You walk to this room, there's a bomb on the floor, it just doesn't make it clear what you're meant to do with it. I now know to uppercut it all the way up to it. Like, usually I would say, I don't want to spoil this game for you, so I try and avoid anything that would be game breaking, but this, watch how to do this, because this you will need to fucking know. This section was just evil. So basically you have to take this bomb all the way from the bottom to the top, so you have to slow-mo to uppercut it. It could go up through each one of these and land on Zen. And when he gets the top one, the candles light it. And it won't always land on target. This is by far the worst part I found in this entire game. Like, it was just unclear and frustrating, and it breaks the entire. It throws the pace off of the whole game. I don't mind puzzly sections. This one was a little bit bullshit. This guy's brilliant. This is why these boss fights are awesome.
What can I do for you?
These over-the-top characters.
I guess you heard I rule the roost around here. Am I right? Am I right? Huh?
Biggest problem I have with these bosses is once you've figured them out, it's like a lot of old school games. Is once you've figured out how to beat them, you know how to beat them every time. They're not that like the challenge is gone. That's right, there's a horizontal scrolling shooter section. Could this game get any more awesome? Right, I'm going to leave this part of the video here because I don't want to ruin any more of this game for you. If you haven't already played this, I suggest you go out and pick this up and play this. The second part of this video is going to be Viewtiful Joe 2, which I'm going to move on to now.
Hey, where are you going?
I'm going to go and play Viewtiful Joe 2. Yeah.
Who? Me?
No, us.
Viewtiful Joe 2!
And welcome to Viewtiful Joe 2. Dos Deuce.
Viewtiful Joe 2!
Yeah, I just said that. This carries on directly from the end of Viewtiful Joe 1. A few notable changes. There is more unlockable modes, like there's like an arena type mode where you just keep fighting and trying to score the highest points, amongst other things. The game itself looks and plays fairly similar, apart from now you can use Sylvia. You can play as two characters. Like the original, there's unlockable characters. I forgot to mention that. In the original, when you play the game through on different difficulty settings, you unlock different characters. If you play the game through on any difficulty setting, you unlock Dante from Devil May Cry, who's got his own slightly different moveset and slightly different dialogue. And yeah, again, if you played on harder, you could unlock a few different characters. There was like Captain Bloom, one of the bad guys who was your rival, supposedly, who you meet when you play it. A similar story for this game. You finish it, you unlock different characters. As you play the game through, you unlock different modes to play within the game. I don't know how to deal with those. The level designs are more movie orientated than the original. Like this one's clearly a Jurassic Park level. There's other levels similar, all movie related. Lots of Easter eggs for movie and video game fans alike. I also lost my original save file for this game, so I'm having to start again. So I don't get to show you as many of the different power-ups and different things you can do as I did in the last video. But they're all kind of similar, so you know you're not missing out too much. You bastard! Come at me then. Come at me then. Seriously, come at me. There we go. Okay, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit because this is you're not going to want to watch all the sodding tutorials. So back shortly. Right, I've moved a little bit further on now. Like I said, not too far because I didn't want to. I don't want to spoil too much. This is interesting.
Ready? Action!
Just go for it!
Have that. More. You can have more. In your face. Really? Was that a boss fight? That might just have been the easiest boss fight I've ever... I don't know what happened. I don't know why... Yay! Me! Why? Oh well. I'll take it. Yep, so as you can see I've skipped ahead a little bit. Not too far, like I said, I don't want to spoil too much of the games for you, because I think you should play these. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Actually how punch bags work. You beat the crap out of them enough, they give you money and shrink. True story. So graphically it looks a little bit better. Not a lot, like there's not much difference between this and the first game. The colours seem a bit more vibrant, everything seems a bit sharper, more refined, including the controls, the combat. It's just a slightly improved game. They've not changed anything dramatically, not changed up the formula at all, really. Not that they needed to, you know. This is a game that could definitely do with an update. Like, these would be brilliant on the Vita. If they could bring these out on the Vita, I'd buy the crap out of them. You almost feel like they were made for that kind of thing. The puzzle seems a lot better in the words are good. So yeah, the puzzle sections that were arguably the weakest point of the last game, or weakest part of the last game, are much better now. Like they've addressed that quite expertly. Deal with this Australian bastard. I assumed because he had a boomerang. Is that racist? A little bit. Yeah, in this game you're collecting Oscars from Awesome Marsh Villainous Bad Guys. Yep, pause menu banter's back in full force. Case in point.
Oh man, I gotta pee too.
No. The sad truth of these games is that there was meant to be 3 of them. This was part of a trilogy. Capcom shut down Cloverfield Studios before the 3rd one ever got to be made, so there are a few spin-offs, but nothing as good. Yeah, maybe one day if you wish hard enough, but doubtful at this stage, which is sad because this thing has just got sequel bait written all over it. Oh, and that fucked up. This is brought to you from the same studio that brought you Akami, which to date is the best Zelda game that I've ever played. So that's a little snippet of both Viewtiful Joes, both the original ones, at least both the PS2 versions. And like I say, I can't recommend these games enough. If you like platformer, brawlery type games, or platformer or brawlery type games, it does both brilliantly. These are worth playing through. They are old school, as in they're difficult. Like they don't hold your hand a lot. They play like these types of games should do. Right, I'm going to leave it there because I've just had my arse rather appropriately handed to me by a robot riot police or something. Alright, thanks for watching and see you next time.